Here's an idea we brought up in our chat yesterday. When we streamed the Lightning and the Islanders game number 2, we talked at length about this one player and this one idea, to the point where I felt like, hey, I think it's a very valid kind of topic to actually make a full-fledged video about. So today, that's exactly what we're gonna do. The Tampa Bay Lightning are leading the New York Islanders 2-0 in their 2020 Stanley Cup Eastern Conference Finals series at the moment, and with the way that they've been playing, dominating the Isles in Game 1 and squeaking out a win in Game 2 when the matchup looked pretty even, if I'm gonna be honest. They were all playing pretty well, both of the teams. But now that because it is 2-0, the odds are in the Lightning's favor, and the way things are going, this Tampa Bay Lightning team needs to win 2 out of their next 5 games to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. The thing is, they've done this entire run where they defeated the Columbus Blue Jackets, they exercised their demons in the first series, where they defeated the Boston Bruins in 5 games in the second series, and now where they've booked themselves a 2-win and 4-game ticket to the Stanley Cup Finals. Of course, that's all up in the air. That can change. I'm not saying they will make the finals. I'm just saying that they have a good chance at doing so. But they've done all of this without Steven Stamkos, the guy who is their captain, the guy who is on the payroll for $8.5 million a year until 2024. He's a guy who has missed out on so much time during his NHL career. The Olympics, he wasn't able to go there. He's had seasons where he has played 17 games, 37 games, 48 games, 57 games this most previous season too. Steven Stamkos' days of 82-year seasons may be in jeopardy because now he came off of a surgery which caused him to miss the end of the 2019-20 season, and then once the NHL came back, well, he wasn't really ready to go then either. It was core muscle surgery all the way back in March, and John Cooper already confirmed that Stamkos will not be available for this entire series against the Islanders. So with the fact that the Tampa Bay Lightning have already been in this position where they've won so much, they've gone so far, and they're gunning to go even further, I think it's a fair question to ask, the idea that we've been bringing up in our chats lately. Is it time to trade Steven Stamkos? Not because he's a bad player, but because you just don't need him. The fact is, Steven Stamkos is a guy who is supposed to lead this team offensively, and for the most part, that's what he has been doing the previous few seasons that he was healthy and playing the full season. Last year, he had 98 points in 82 games, but he wasn't the leader in points in his team. That was Nikita Kucherov. His monster 128-point campaign highlighted the Lightning. In fact, even going back to 2018 as well, Nikita Kucherov led the Lightning in points with 100, Stamkos was second with 86. The thing is though, in this most previous season's worth of play, Stamkos was also second behind Nikita Kucherov, but the guy who has been third every single year in 2020, 2019, and 2018 has been Brayden Point. And Brayden Point has been an absolute animal throughout these 2019-20 playoffs, and he's a guy who is going to be making for the next few seasons $6.75 million. His RFA contract expires in 2022, and he's a guy who, at the way he is playing right now, could definitely demand a lot more than what he's making currently. So far for the Lightning, he has 23 points in 15 games played. He is second in the entire league in points behind Nathan MacKinnon, and he's got one more than Nikita Kucherov. This was highlighted by a 5-point game he had in Game 1, where he absolutely took things over. The early goal on the Isles, another goal later on where he tipped it in, assists back and forth. Brayden Point is cementing himself as a number 1 center, a quote-unquote franchise guy, playing on that first line with Palat and Kucherov. And in fact, the Lightning have looked fine. Chiarelli's a second-line center so far, Yanni Gourde's their third-line center, and Cedric Paquette is playing as the fourth-line center. Heck, this team has Luke Schenn as a winger, filling in the hole that Stamkos leaves because they don't have 11 dressed forwards. But the fact is, this Lightning team is in a position where they do need to make some decisions on who to re-sign and for how much. Anthony Chiarelli's a guy who's the biggest RFA on this squad. He's making $728,000, but the way he has been playing this previous few games, it certainly dictates that he could get a lot more than just $700K. Chiarelli's a guy who had 44 points in 68 games this previous season, and because the Lightning only have a very limited amount of cap space, they're currently listed at $1.271 million, you could make the debate that if this team wants to be able to re-sign all of their guys and keep under the salary cap structure properly, it's not a defenseman they need to move. It's not Ryan McDonough. It's not Tyler Johnson or Killorn or Yanni Gourde. It's Steven Stamkos. Because they have been in a position where they can be proven to win without him. They quite literally don't need him to have success. And because this guy has been so injury-prone over the past few seasons, is it fair to say that having Brayden Point take over the number one center spot for this team into the long-term future is the way to go? Now, I will say, will I completely dismiss the notion that Steven Stamkos can make a team better? Absolutely not. Stamkos, for all intents and purposes, was literally the second highest point producer for the Lightning every single year the past few years. He's a very good player, and we all know that. He can contribute points and he can score goals. Ever since 2008, he was the guy who was able to come into Tampa, play alongside a LeCavalier and learn a few things here and there, and become an NHL star. But the point I'm trying to make is not that he makes the team worse when he is on it, but that the team just straight up doesn't need him. If you want to go at it and say, okay, Lego, I understand your point, but I would rather have Stamkos on this team than get rid of Stamkos in order to re-sign Chiarelli. Or I would rather have Stamkos here than be able to keep a Yanni Gourde or a Killorn instead, because you're only saving an extra $3 million if you get rid of a Stamkos instead. I totally understand that. Again, he is a very good player. But my point is, do the Lightning necessarily need him to be successful? Because the way this Lightning team are right now, I don't know if that's really the case. This team legitimately has a chance at winning the Stanley Cup this season, and the way they've been playing against the Islanders makes me believe that they definitely do have what it takes, even without Stamkos in the lineup. Some people were suggesting that, hey, you know, what if you guys put the C on Victor Hedman for these playoff games, because you've been playing your entire playoff run without a captain, which, to me, honestly, is a pretty interesting idea too. And while I get that Stamkos has a full no-move clause for his contract, and the fact is you're not really going to be able to move a guy who has that amount of money on the cap, $8.5 million, because we have a flat cap world, it's going to be a lot more difficult to trade some of these guys now, because NHL teams are a lot more financially secure on their economic spending. But Stamkos is Stamkos. He's a big, big NHL star. And if the Lightning are able to win the Cup this season without him, it signals to me that a discussion like this is worth having, where we discuss the possibility of flipping him out, giving Brayden Point the number one center spot, allowing Point to be the guy in Tampa Bay, and getting some assets in return for Stamkos. And that's the idea we're bringing up here. For the record, because I know people are going to call me out in the comment section because of this video, I don't think Stamkos is going to get traded. There, I said it. Wow, the video topic which I'm talking about in a video is not what I think is going to happen. What a shocker. But the fact is, this YouTube channel has been the same throughout the years, promoting ideas that I see value in discussing and that I want to bring over to the spotlight so that people like you can interact with the idea as well. So, tell me in the comment section below, is a Stamkos trade something that you would consider if you are the general manager of the Lightning, especially considering how good this team has been without him? This team has done everything to make their jobs a whole bunch more easier in these playoffs. Eliminating Columbus in 5, eliminating Boston, the Stanley Cup finalists last year, and the Presidents Trophy winners this year in 5 games too. Taking a quick head up, 2-0 over the New York Islanders in the Eastern Conference Finals. This team has been dominant, and they've done it all without Stammer. So, talk to me in the comments if you think that this idea is valuable here. Furthermore, if you see a Stamkos trade being something of value, like I certainly do as well, then who do you think he gets traded to? I said it earlier, but it's going to be very difficult to get somebody to take that contract. But if somebody is out there, who do you think it should be, and what do you think the return should be? Talk to me in the comments what you think about this whole idea. I hope you enjoyed this video. So that was Roll9, and Bye.